Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another massive declutter. Man, I have really just been, if you've been following me over on IG or even on YouTube for a while, then you know that I've really been rotating through my collection, trying items out, and I've been trying to, do better about not keeping things that I don't love or I have to make work for me. Because realistically, I'm not going to reach for those items. I'm going to reach for the items that I know I love and that work well for me. So I'm really just trying to do better at letting the things go that I know I won't reach for and don't really enjoy. That way someone else can get better use out of them before they expire. There are also some expired items included in this video. And if you're here to tell me that I don't know what's expired or how do I know it's expired, this video probably isn't for you. I judge expired makeup products when they get a smell, they have a bad texture, or they stop performing, or they cause a reaction. I've had that in the products that have expired. So yeah, I just don't want to hear it. And you shouldn't either, because it's your face. If you don't want to risk a reaction, you bought it, it's your makeup, you throw it away when you think it's time to throw it away. No one else should be weighing in on that decision. And that goes for all declutters. I apologize, if it looks wasteful, but my intent is to get these items that are still good and still great quality to other friends or other people. A lot of these items will be listed on my Mercari. If you're interested in picking them up, that link will be down below. I have already sent some of the makeup items to some friends in the makeup community. So I am looking for new homes for things. I'm not just throwing things in the trash can. Yeah, so I don't know, just disclaimer, I guess. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Megan. Please be sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this video, if you like declutters, if you like makeup, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel. I'm filming this intro before I'm filming the actual declutter, so I am gonna try to fit it all into one video, but we do have a lot of products that I have a lot of thoughts on. Some thoughts are controversial, so I might need to make a part 2. We will see. But yeah, basically, I've really just enjoyed the process of gutting what doesn't work for me and really curating my collection. Don't get me wrong, my collection is still pretty big for the average consumer, but it's feeling more curated to me, and I really, really love that. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the declutter. That's enough for me. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so the first items we're going to be decluttering are the KBD Dazzle Sticks. I have the shades Lightning Strike and Hail Surge. I'll pop them open for you guys. I did try these a handful of times, and ultimately they were really just lackluster on my lids, which you wouldn't think that they would be because they look beautiful. The swatches are beautiful. I thought I was going to be obsessed, but they were just really underwhelming. I found the best method to apply these was to go in with my finger and then tap them on my lid. If I went directly in on the lid, I would get a lot better sparkle payoff. However, if I did that, it would get kind of heavy, a little bit too heavy for the lid, and could cause some creasing. And then if I went in directly with a brush, it would not pick up the product. So I found the best method was to tap it on with my finger. And don't get me wrong, like, it was pretty. I don't think that these are a bad product. I just think that compared to a lot of other products in my collection, they're not what I thought they would be, and they're a little bit underwhelming. So I don't think that I will use these, and I already have a friend that really wants to try them, so I'm gonna send them to her because she's like she's really big into like one and done shadows and toppers and stuff. So I really just think that she'll get a lot better use out of these. So gonna declutter them. All right, next up we have the LYS Think Bright Glow and Hydrate Serum. I only recently decided that I was gonna declutter this. In terms of makeup application, I'm really just kind of moving away from primers, unless it's my Milani one for some additional glow. This is one that is best used like in place of your serum, and I just prefer to use like an HA serum or something like that. I know it has hyaluronic acid in it, but yeah, I don't know. Basically what it came down for me is like I don't really, I have to be mindful of using it, and I have a friend that absolutely loves this and hers is almost gone. So I was like, why keep this in my collection when I'm like having to kind of make myself use it? Whereas like I have a friend that would probably love to have this and I could send it to them. So that is my plan with this. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think that it's for me in terms of like the step of the process that it's recommended to be used in. So I'm going to declutter it. The next item is the Tarte Maracuja Mist. So I loved the way that this product sprayed out of the component or the applicator or whatever. It's a really fine aerosol mist, and I really enjoyed that part of it. I've been using this pretty consistently because it is my last setting spray in my collection. I've really just moved away from using any kind of setting spray. And in the past few days, I haven't been wearing it just because I don't feel like putting on a setting mist. And this was breaking my makeup up. Without using it, my makeup has been lasting so much longer and holding together a lot better. So I didn't really realize that it was doing this until I didn't use it, because I just thought like, oh, like it's time for my makeup to break apart, blah, blah, blah. But I definitely think it was this product. I do have a friend that really loves this though, so I'm gonna send it to her. Next up, we have the Verdant First Field from Phytosurgeons. This is a moisturizer. It is green in color, really flexible, elasticy. This is to help restore moisturizer. I have so many friends that love this and are so obsessed with this, but it just wasn't for me. I have combination skin, and my friends that love it have dry skin. So for me, it just didn't feel like hydrating enough. Like, I don't know, it was so weird. Like, I just didn't feel like I was getting enough out of it, that my skin was looking as juicy, hydrated, and plump as it does when I use the Good Molecules silicone priming moisturizer that's literally like $10. So instead of holding on to this one and making myself use it, I have a friend, that same friend, that is obsessed with this and really enjoys it. So instead of hanging on to it, I'm going to declutter it and I'm going to send it to her. The next items are from Oric. These still break my fucking heart. I have the shade Defiance and Entice, and I'm really upset about these. They look so beautiful. They have, so much potential. Like, that looks gorgeous. But I think that these just did not do it for me. And they definitely didn't meet my preference in terms of, like, how I like to wear eyeshadow. I did do a really in-depth review if you are curious over on my IG, but essentially I struggled with these. These like apply best in my experience with a brush, but it has to be the right kind of brush, otherwise the brush will take the product away. I find that they really just like don't build up that well. Like if you go in with the brush and create a light layer, and then if you want to go in with your finger and top off the lid just to give you some opacity, you're gonna get like a lot of creasing because it's like too heavy for the lid. But if you do just a wash of color, you don't get the pretty, beautiful colors that you see in the pots. You get this like light wash of like meh, like not a lot of payoff at all. This has like a deeper vase. Oh my gosh, deeper vase, a deeper base. So like when I was doing a light wash of this, it looked like cool, dark, like gray on my eyes. It didn't even really pull green. And then this did the same thing. We didn't have that beautiful bronze product that we see in here. We had more of, you know, a cool toned, like almost gray brown. So they really just like, for me, were underwhelming. They flopped. These are crazy expensive. I almost kept them because I think that the tops are really good. The sparkle, like I think that is really good, really pretty. But I was like, realistically, I'm not going to just reach for this one thing to pull out, you know, the top. Like I just have so much other stuff. So yeah, I don't know. They disappointed me for like the price and everything. Like they just didn't perform the way I thought they would. I did a lot more detailed review over on IG if you're curious, but yeah, I have a friend that wants these, so I want to send them to her and hopefully she'll enjoy them more. But yeah, gonna declutter them. Next up, sticking with the Oric train, is the Oric Glow Lust. So I'm decluttering this. I probably only have like that much left. And it was barely past its shelf life, but this caused like a really bad reaction on my face the last time I used it. So if you have this product, take the shelf life very seriously. It almost looked like a chemical burn on the side of my face. So for that reason, I'm not going to keep it in my collection. I did love this. I used the crap out of this. Obviously, I almost emptied it. But it has, you know, come to its time. It's expired, so I'm going to declutter it. Next up, we have the Huda Beauty, her new blush sticks. This one's the shade Perky Peach. I have a whole review up of this on IG. It is an absolutely stunning shade. It blended out really easily. It built up really well. My gripe is that it's not long lasting on me. I could not get this to last more than 5 hours. And I typically have my makeup on for longer than 12 hours. So for me, this just is not feasible. It's not something I'm going to reach for because I know that it's going to fade. So instead of keeping it in my collection, I'm going to see if somebody else would like this one. Next up, I have the KKW Beauty. This is their shimmer powder for face and body in the shade Pearl. I have used this a couple times. It's more of an item that I would use more in the summertime. But let's be real, I don't go anywhere anymore, so I'm not going to reach for this, and it's kind of just taking up some space in my collection. It's something that I can probably list really cheap on Mercari, and someone else would rather have it, or I can give it away on IG. One of those things. I don't have any complaints about it. It's just not a product that I use in my daily routine, so it would sit around in my collection. This next one always seems to make the cut, but I decided to go ahead and put it in the declutter. I always go back and forth with this one because of these two shades here, these orange shades. So I did a little bit of digging through my own collection, and I have an eyeshadow that's similar to this shade that I can use as a blush. And then I also have my orange blush from the Scott Barnes palette. So I don't need these, especially because I almost never wear powdered blush. Like, I kid you not, you guys. I could probably get rid of, well, I pretty much have gotten rid of almost my whole powder blush collection because I just don't use it. And someone else will use it. So, yeah, nothing wrong with these. They perform really great. They're really beautiful. I just don't use them. Next up from The Ordinary, this is a Silic Acid Mask. This was okay. I thought that I saw a difference over time. I'm just so lazy when it comes to masking. Like, I'm terrible. I'm so terrible at it. And then the last time I used this, the texture had obviously gone off, which I had it open more than 6 months, so I'm not really surprised. But I'm going to declutter it just because I don't want a reaction on my face, and the texture definitely has changed. Next up is the Too Faced Born This Way oil-free in the shade Porcelain. I had gotten this from Influencer. I've used it 3 or 4 times. I don't mind the finish on my skin. Overall, it wears really well. It's just the shade is way too dark for me, which is crazy because it's described as very fair with neutral undertones. It is light to medium with yellow undertones, like easily, no doubt about it. So because it's so dark, I know that I won't use it. This, honestly, I don't even know if it would work for me in the summer. The shade is just so whack. And I used it with my neutralizer from LA Girl, and that did help. But I'm just not the person in the morning that wants to, you know, mix my foundation. Like, I just want to put my foundation on. So I know I'll reach for this one, so I'm going to pass it along. Next up, skincare. This is from a brand called Face Gem. This is their Supreme Restructure. It's a firming collagen boosting cream. This is expensive as hell. If you look on Sephora, this is crazy expensive. And so it was my surprise that when I tried it out, I thought it sucked. It was not hydrating enough for me at all. Like, my skin felt dry. So I'm not going to use this. So adios. The next item I'm going to declutter is from Sugar Rush, which is Tarte's sister brand. This has made the declutter a few times because I keep saving it for that one event or that one look, but a year and a half later, still haven't gone to that event or done that look. So I'm going to declutter it. Up next, we have the Tower 28 tinted sunscreen. I have the shade 15 Melrose. I was hopeful that this would, I would fall in love with this and it would be so good. But it really just didn't work for my skin. And I know a lot of people love it, and that's fine. But I didn't have a good experience with it. This was very clingy on me, and it just bunched up in places. It looked like I had dry patches, but I didn't. I tried this out 3 or 4 times, and I just don't like it. I don't like the way it dries down. The shade is really good for me, I will say that, but formulation wise, I just wasn't sold on it, and I have a lot better in my collection, so I'm decluttering this one. Next up, I have the soy face cleanser from Fresh. I've literally only used this one time because the scent. I cannot with the scent. I forget what I said it reminded me of because I described it on my IG stories because I was like, this is so disgusting. But it smells so bad that I cannot even put it on my face. I love a gel cleanser, and I was really hopeful that I was going to love this, but I just cannot with the scent. So for that reason, I'm going to try and pass it along. This is kind of random, but I did go through my magnetic palettes because I did get rid of a lot of them in the last declutter, but I also went through some other single palettes. So I have 3 additional, I have 5 empty magnetic palettes. So I'm going to get rid of these 3 because I just don't need them. This one has some random shades from Billion Dollar Brows in it. I am also going to declutter these. I'll probably see if anyone on IG wants it before I do that. But yeah, these are going to go because now they're just going to be sitting around. And I still do have 3 magnetic palettes in my collection. And well, now I have 4. One is a 9-pan. But 2 of them are my favorite and they're empty right now. So I'll use those over these 2 empty ones. They're not bad or anything. I just prefer the other ones. So yeah, I'm going to pass these along. Next up, I decided I'm going to go ahead and declutter the Cinderella palette from Sigma. I almost don't want to open it because I kind of go back and forth about it because when you look at it, it is beautiful. It is. The shimmers are what has kept this in my collection as long as it has been. I lusted after this one. I was so excited to get it. And I have created beautiful looks with it. There's just something about it that I don't reach for it. I just don't. And I feel like someone else would really love to have this in their collection and would reach for it more instead of it sitting on my shelf. So that's why I decided to declutter it. And that's kind of the mentality that I have right now, is that like, why let it sit on my shelf when someone else could be getting great use? So I'm decluttering it. Next up, I have the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I was able to finish about half of this before it went bad. It smells absolutely disgusting. I hadn't received a reaction on my eyes yet, but guess what? I also don't want to get a reaction on my eyes. So I went ahead and decluttered this. And I would not recommend this one, you guys. One, I think it's quite overhyped. Like, it was an okay concealer, but it's definitely not the best concealer. And I used this for like 3 to 4 months straight. Well, no. Yeah, I would say about 3 months straight before I set it aside to try out my KVD concealer. And then when I went back into this about a month later, it smelled rancid. So with, you know, the 4 to 5 month mark is going bad. And in 3 months, I was able to finish about half of it. So I don't even think I would have been able to finish it all before it went off. So for that reason, if you're someone who likes to only have one concealer and that's all you use, then I think it'd be okay to pick this one up. I still don't think you could finish it all, or it would be close. But if you like to have at least 2 concealers in rotation, which I'm that person, then I would not recommend this, because there's just no way you'll finish it before it goes bad. Like, there's just no way. So yeah, declutter. Up next, we have another concealer. This is an RMS Beauty concealer. It did get a lot of use. I have a giant pan in there. I loved using this to cut my crease. I didn't so much love it on the under eye. This is their Uncover Up. I have shade 11. But the last time I used this, I got a really severe reaction on my eyeball. So, for that reason, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. We have been finding some expired stuff in my collection, which is why I need to, you know, really curate my collection anyway, so that I don't have that happening anymore. Obviously, I'm going through my collection, so it's happening more than it ever has in the past. But yeah, I'm decluttering this. Okay, next up, I have these 2 singles. One is from Solic, and I've never used it. And then the other one is from it's called Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild. I've never used it either, but it looks like it's getting a little dry in there. Since I haven't used this one, I probably will toss it in a giveaway, because I only got it over the summer, so it should still be okay. But I just don't really reach for singles in general. I have to be very mindful of them. So obviously, these are not items that I'm going to reach for. So I want to try to get this one to someone before it goes bad like this one did. So yeah, decluttering these. Next up, we have some liners. This one is from Hikiri. I don't know. I think I probably got it in something. I don't know. But I just like don't use that color. It's pretty now that I'm swatching it. But I've had it forever, and I've literally used it one time. The other one, I don't even know. This is probably going to be dried out. I've had this forever. It's from ColourPop. It's this really pretty teal color. But again, I don't use colored liner. I use black or brown. Like, I'm just kind of, unless I'm doing something creative, I'm kind of past that, if you will. So they're really just taking up space. So for that reason, gonna declutter these. Next item is the Greek Goddess palette from Lunar Beauty. I've only used this a handful of times, and the mattes are really beautiful. They perform so well, but had a little crumble in there. And the shimmers, they swatch well, but they don't look as good on the eye, or at least that was my experience. And I don't know what it is, but I just never reach for this. And I know I've talked about that before, but I never reach for it. Like, I don't know what it is, but it does not call to me. I don't know what it is. And I know this palette's discontinued, so there are probably some people that really love Lunar Beauty and would like this, even if it's just like a collector's item. So for that reason, like, I'm gonna just let it go, because otherwise it's gonna go bad in my collection. So yeah, decluttering her. Sticking to the eyeliner train, I have all of these liners from LA Girl. They're all still brand new, and I will probably throw them in a giveaway. I've had them for like a year, but I have not used them or opened them. They've just been sitting in the bottom of my drawer. So for that reason, even though they look so pretty, like right now, I'm like, gosh, those are so pretty. But when do I do colored liner, Megan? Never. So I'm going to let them go, you guys. I'm going to let them go. Okay, next up we have this Power Bright Moisturizer from Dermalogica. It's with 50% or 50, Jesus. Sorry, I'm like breathing so hard. I just moved a bunch of stuff. But it has 50 SPF. I was actually really looking forward to using this moisturizer. Like I was pumped, really excited. But this broke me out. So I think there's just an ingredient in here that my skin did not like. So I'm not going to use it because it breaks me out, but I'm sure other people will be interested in trying it. So for that reason, I'm going to just declutter it and list it. Next, we have my Jouer bronzer duo. I was able to finish the bronzer side, and I don't love this side enough to keep it. Honestly, like it's not wow to me. I have other ones that I'm going to reach for always over this, so I'm not going to keep it around for that one end that I don't really like. So I'm going to declutter that. Next up, I have this, it's from Kylie Skin. It's the clear complexion corrector. It's for like acne spots. And I did think that this worked really well. I used it on the occasion where I had a breakout. However, I try to be really mindful of skincare expiration dates. And this one had a 12-month shelf life. And we're past that. So for that reason, I am going to go ahead and declutter it. But this did work well for me. We have another liner. This one's from ColourPop. I've never used it. I found it and I was like, oh, this is new. And instead of using it, I'm just going to toss it in a giveaway because like I said, I don't really use colored liners. So yeah, it's going to go. Next up, we kind of have like a little trio here. These are the high glosses from Kylie. These are from her Dear Santa collection 3 Christmases ago. I was trying to pan these and you can see that I did make some pretty good progress in them, but the formulation did start to go off and it was getting really thick and really sticky and really gross to wear. So I think they expired. I'm not going to continue to try and wear them when I have other glosses that I really enjoy. So for that reason, they're gonna go. Next up, I have the It CC cream. This one is in the shade light medium. Why I ever thought this would work for me, I don't know. I guess I just was not expecting it to be as dark as it is. Because, like, when I say it's dark, you guys, like, I'll just do a little bit right there. It is dark. Like, dark, the house. So this would never, ever work for me. But it was past its return date, so fuck me. So I'm gonna list it and hopefully someone else will want this. I've literally just done like 2 little swatches like that ever to test the shade. But yeah, unfortunately I messed up, so declutter. Next up, we have these 2 matte lippies from Scott Barnes. These are so pretty, and I did get, you can't tell, but I did use these quite a bit. The formula has just gone off. It's getting chunky. It's very drying. I've had these for like 2.5 years, so I'm not like faulting the product at all. They've just expired in my collection while I neglected them, but I really did like the formula when I first got them. They were very comfortable mattes. They were really nice wearing, and I loved these shades. I have the shade Heartbreaker and Love Story, so they are definitely something I would think about repurchasing in the future, but I'm really just not into a matte lip right now, so maybe at some point in time, but not right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter these. Next up, I have this quad from Aether Beauty, and I actually got this in the Boxy pop-up shop. This is the Ametrine Mini Crystal Palette, and I was really excited to try the formula and whatnot, but I hate this packaging. Like, and I know that's the stupidest gripe, but I hate it. Something about it just drives me to madness. Like, I cannot stand that, especially for how expensive these are. Like, put some damn magnets in there. I don't know. I'm just not into that. So instead of like using it and getting it all whatever, I just didn't touch it, and I'm gonna, you know, give it away. Like, I'm not gonna keep it. Because that's something that if I had to guess, probably doesn't bother a lot of other people, but it bothers me. So I'm just gonna let it go. Next up, we have the Moulin blush from ColourPop. This one's in the shade Matchmaker. Obviously, I really enjoyed this one. This is a very powdery blush. It's also a very glittery blush, which, like, I don't really mind, like, some glitter in my blush. But I did decide to get rid of this just because I don't really wear powdered blush anymore. And when I reach for one, I mean, I've loved this in the past, but now that I'm like not tanning ever or anything, it is pulling a little more like a bronzer on my skin, I would say. So, I don't know, I mean, shit, maybe I should use it as a bronzer. But, well, no, I have enough bronzers. Okay, so yes, I am gonna let it go, you guys. I am. Next up, we have the Niacinamide Watermelon Glow Sunscreen from Glow Recipe. I was sent this, and this just didn't work for me. It peeled really bad on my face. I know not everyone had this experience, but a lot of people did have this experience. And instead of going and trying to make it work for me, I'm just gonna give it away. I'm not gonna keep it. I'm not someone who wears sunscreen daily. So, yeah, I feel like someone else would really just enjoy this so much more. So I'm gonna declutter it. Next up, I have this palette. It was some cheap palette that I got from like Amazon to do like a Halloween look. And like half the pans are falling out, and I had to glue them back in and stuff. And I just don't like the way that this formula is. It's really like waxy, and it doesn't hold up well. It bleeds a lot, so I'm just gonna declutter it. Next, this is from Dr. Dennis Gross. It's an intense wrinkle cream. I tried this a handful of times, and it was just too drying on my skin. So I feel like someone else would hopefully enjoy this. But I mean, I just need more hydration, especially in the winter and springtime when my skin is a little bit drier. So yeah, declutter. Next up, I have this blush from Kaja. It's in the shade Saucy. And these are super cute. I love the concept. I've only used it like 3 or 4 times. And it didn't apply well to my skin. It was like super patchy. It was kind of hard to work with because it was drying so quick. I just didn't like the formula. It was like a matte liquid instead of like a cream, and that's really just not my preference. So I'm decluttering this one. Next up, I have the RMS Beauty. This is the Master Radiance Base. I was only able to use this a couple times before it expired. And you can see it looks a little sus. But I put it on and it started to burn. Which I have had it for longer than a year. I've had it for like 2 years. I just didn't get around to like using it because I was using other stuff. So yeah, screwed that up for myself. But why I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful as a consumer. But yeah, decluttering this one. Up next is my candy paint. This is a blush in the shade Velvet Tiger. This is interesting because like I do like this formula and this blush. My friend Katie and I were talking because we both have this one and we like loved it when we first got it and reached for it all the time. And you see how it looks like that beautiful, deep, like more neutral tone. Well, that's how it used to look, but now like once you get it blended out and stuff, it pulls like a bright pink on my face, which I don't know why. I don't know if that's because like the cream has just like gone off or something is oxidized or what, but it pulls really bright pink on my face. It doesn't have that neutral finish anymore. So I used it until I hit pan on it, and then now I'm going to let her go. The next one I have is from Tower 28. This is in the shade Rush Hour. This is the one, if you watch my Shop My Stash videos, like it had crystallization going on in the pan. People said it was okay to use. I used it and I didn't have any issues. I did rotate it into my basket though, however, because I've grown very particular about the shades that I like to wear on my cheeks. And this shade is just not it for me. It's like too bright, corally. I don't like that on myself. I do think that this formula in general is nice. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not something that I'm gonna reach for. So maybe someone else wants it, or you know, I'll toss it, I don't know. Or I could do something fun with it on my face, just depending on if anyone wants it. But yeah, so decluttering this one. Okay, editing me. I do think I'm gonna keep this as a bronzer because I feel like it looks like a pretty nice shade. I'm gonna keep trying it out as a bronzer over like my foundation and stuff. And then if I decide that I don't like it, then you'll see it in part 2. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, yes. But yeah, so that is all for me in today's declutter video. I hope that you enjoyed this. There will be a part 2 up shortly. I think we can fit it all in part 2. I know this one's a little shorter just because last time when I tried to upload an hour video, my phone had kind of a difficult time with that regarding like storage. So I just think it's going to be better to break it up into 2 videos. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye!